Hello and welcome to TechCircle. Today I, Payal Ganguly, and my colleague Vignesh Anantraj catch up with Sameer Raje, the country head for video communication platform Zoom. The app has seen widespread use by enterprises and individuals of late, especially with daily meeting participants growing from 10 million to 300 million in a matter of months. This has been largely due to the lockdown and physical distancing measures implemented due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, Raje tells us about the 90-day security program the platform has been working on to fix issues on privacy as well as security.
So, Samir, can we just start out by addressing one very big concern is that Zoom has gotten kind of a bad name over the past couple of months with Zoom bombing and certain encryption issues. But the 90-day security program has worked very well in your favor. But there is still this slight hesitation, I would say, from enterprises in adopting Zoom.
So, Vignesh, I think there are two parts to this question, and I will answer this in two sections. The first part is there are certain issues which need to be understood what exactly those issues are. For example, you mentioned the word bombing. Now, bombing is actually meeting bombing, and let me reiterate that. And you and Payal both being from an corporate world will understand this. If you're sitting in a meeting room, right, many times all of us are sitting in the meeting rooms trying to do something, and suddenly somebody barges in and says, oops, sorry, wrong room, and then goes to the another one. That's called a room bombing, right? Now, that's what is going to happen if you're going to share your user credentials or meeting details on a social media platform, right? And not only that, but we've seen, very different kind of users putting it on the social media, stating that please join this meeting, please join this webinar. And anybody can click on it and get onto it. Now, given the fact that in this situation, I wouldn't like to comment, but there are a lot of bad actors out there right now who probably are free and wanting to, misuse this information which is available. And given the fact that we have grown from 10 million participants a day to 300 million participants a day on our platform, right? So it's suddenly we are in everybody's interest. So this meeting bombing phenomena actually is a lot related to the end user behavior where you're sharing your credentials, meeting details on the social media or on the web. Always set passwords for your meeting. Always be cautious in whom you're sharing the information with. Do not post it on social medias. So that is the kind of, precautions that need to be taken. That's point number one. Point number two is coming to the fact that about enterprises, if you ask me, we've been an enterprise platform all through, and during these difficult times, yes, enterprises have come back to us, raised some questions regarding all the noise which is there in the market. But on the same side, these same enterprises have said that yes, we know all this, and thank you for sharing the details, and they have continued to put their faith in us. So largest of the large to smallest of the small organizations who know the facts have continued to be with us. Having said that, yes, there were certain mistakes on our side also. I would not completely say that, it's all end user behavior. Any organization goes from 10 million to 300 million, that kind of growth happening in a period of 12 weeks, which would have been difficult for an organization to cover in 2 years or 3 years time frame. We grew at a very fast pace, and while doing that, yes, there were some mistakes from our side. Also, there were new types of users coming on board, right? For example, individuals who had never been in the cyber world, individuals who had never used such kind of collaboration platforms. And we had never envisaged that our platform will become suddenly a social platform and there will be usage beyond the large enterprises. So yeah, there were certain misses from our side. For example, it would have been better off if we would have mandated the passwords for individual users, free users, as well as, free signups coming in. So it would have been better off. Plus, similarly, it would have been better off to hide the meeting ID when they were.
So, Samir, the important point here is that it could have been mitigated just with if the user knew the default settings and just tweaked it around a little bit to make it a little more secure.
Correct. Yeah, but beyond that also there are certain mistakes on our side, which I was talking about, like again, data routing and some of these things, which we have corrected in the 90-day security plan. We have fixed it in less than 24 hours and released more than 3 to 4 patches to fix and upgrade our software. So yeah, that's what it is.
Also, what is the incentive for having the individual users who might be using the app on its freemium version mostly?
You're right, Pyle, in saying that. Point number one is the fact that Zoom has always been focused on enterprises. This platform was created for enterprises. But in this situation, I mean, we had not expected, this is an unprecedented situation. We had not expected that every other person will be either logging in from home or, working from home or doing whatever. And along with that comes the other fact that people are away from friends and family and hence want to even socialize using such platforms. So that's another aspect. Now, it's very difficult for me to give you the numbers because we are not doing that right now. But I think that number is quite significant. However, what happens is, when the moment you want to use it for more than 3 participants and more than 40 minutes, that's where the value perception comes in, right? Where people need to, like, for example, tutors, coaching classes, students, when they want to use it, or even small businessmen and women, when they want to conduct meetings for more than 2 or 3 participants and more than 40 minutes, that's where they need to subscribe to a paid model. In this period, we have seen users coming in all sorts of, circles. The largest of the large enterprises looking for the BCP or business continuity process to be implemented, where employees can work from home, to the smallest of the small organizations using it because they cannot go to their offices, and individuals, as you rightly pointed out, to socialize, to meet their families and friends during this lockdown period. So we're seeing growth in all the sectors, and our focus continues to be on the fact that we want to help people.
I wanted to understand what is driving the adoption in India. Is it the individual user or enterprises who are ramping up their subscriptions for the product?
To be honest with you, what happens is when an enterprise, let's say, which has around 100,000 employees wants to subscribe to our services, they may actually have 200,000 employees, let's say, on payroll. They would subscribe to or purchase 100,000 licenses. And rest of the 100,000 employees would be on those free licenses or those 40-minute licenses. The reason being, these rest of the freemium users, as we call it, would be either returning to work or don't need meetings beyond 40 minutes. 40 minutes suffices their requirements. And also in this time, I mean, organizations definitely want to fine-tune their spend also, right? So they go for a mix of freemium as well as a paid version. So I think it will be very difficult for us to point out that this is the individuals signing or freemium users are more and enterprises are less. I think it's growing in all the sectors, largest of the large to smallest of the small, and even individual users.
We have been hearing that some of the government departments have barred the use of Zoom for official communication. There was also news that the Indian government had called for proposals to build a product similar to yours for web conferencing. So, is it easy to build a platform similar to Zoom?
Again, there are multiple questions in this, and I will answer that in different sections. So point number one is, yes, based on various information, which was, like I said, about the end user behavior or some of the mishaps that from our side, CERT had issued advisories on how to use Zoom, and these were best practices, and CERT issues advisories against all the applications or in favor of all. So they guide, their focus is on keeping the Indian user safe, and which is fair enough, right? So based on which, again, CERT advisories don't talk about banning use of Zoom. CERT advisories were about, certain vulnerabilities that were reported on a platform, and the fix for it, which was available through the upgrades like 4.8, 4.9, and then 5.0, which we released in the market, and which was very clearly articulated on the CERT advisories. They also issued a couple of other advisories which were related to web conferencing or video conferencing on the virtual world, and there was no mention of Zoom on that particular thing. Yes, there were certain restrictions placed in terms of government officials to use Zoom. So for that, again, there are a lot of misinformation out there. And our job, what we are doing is we are trying to communicate. We are in communication with the government, various divisions and departments, trying to convey the actual facts, share the relevant details so that they can in turn take a rightful decision, right? So obviously, once that process is completed, we are sure that the government will take the right decision and communicate internally. I would say that if any other competitor coming in, our best wishes to them. We don't focus on them. We don't focus on what others do. We focus on what we need to do. We need to focus on how we can better. Once this 90 days plan is over, we will be probably few generations ahead compared to any other application available in the market. So it's good if somebody can catch up. Even if somebody is trying to come up, then definitely that puts more pressure on us to be even ahead by 2-3 generations, right?
Are there any new product launches? Are there any new features that you're planning to bring up? Because Google Meet is also close on your heels. Of course, they have 1/3 of the user base, daily user base that you have, but they have also been catching up quite fast, and they've also brought in integration with Google Mail and a host of other features. They made it free also. So do you feel the heat around you a little bit at least, and are you planning to launch a couple more features?
As you're aware, Vignesh, for the 90 days, it's a freeze. Features will be around security and privacy and boosting our platform to be more secure and more robust. That's the plan. So, for example, we have what is known as Zoom Rooms. So in Zoom Rooms, customers demanded that through the same Zoom interface, they wanted to control the temperature of their AC. They also wanted to control the blinds moving on the window. We gave them that. Some of the users also came back and said that they wanted to check the optimum usage of the VC rooms. We gave them that. So what we do is we interact with a lot of these CIOs. We host a lot of meetings with them. Our senior engineering team goes and meets them. We host marathon sessions for spanning a couple of days with these senior folks and try to hear them out as to what exactly they are looking for. So it's very easy to say, but very difficult to do and incorporate a lot of these features on what their demands are. And that's what puts us forward, right? So yes, there are players around. They will try to catch up, but what makes Zoom where we are is about our ability to listen to our customer. And second thing, what helps us is, the simple fact that we care about our customers. And
what new security challenges are you trying to put in during the remaining of these 90 days?
That's a fantastic question. So there are a lot of things. So like, for example, we introduced the 256 GCM bit encryption, right? So that was one of it. And acquisition of Keybase. Now, while acquiring the company might have been, I would say, relatively easier, incorporating that into end-to-end encryption and releasing that to our end customers is going to be even more difficult, right? And doing that within a 90-day time frame is hats off to our engineering team for the fantastic job that they are doing. So these are small things. Apart from that, I mean, whatever, our external CISOs who are come on board and doing the analysis and focusing on, trying to see if there are any vulnerabilities, anything that is, exposed, anything that we should not be doing, any tests that need to be done. All those things are being done right now. So this is what is taking to the next level. In India, now we have 2 data centers in India for data routing. That's a big thing. We also gave the option to our paid customers to choose the geography. Now that's an industry first feature, right? If you want to opt out of certain geography while routing your data, no collaboration service provider offers that option. And Indian users can expect a lot more things to come into India. That's all I can say given the quiet period we are in. But yes, right. Indian users can expect a lot more things.